Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess. It's so good to see you. I dressed up for you. I did actually. I'm looking kind of fancy, wearing a bridesmaid dress from a wedding that Becca was in last year. Still quarantined, still going a little stir crazy, but we have sunshine today, so that's a good thing. Let me start by saying, if you're new here, it's so good to have you. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video if you like it, turn on notifications. If you want to see the stuff I make, you have to turn on notifications, otherwise YouTube's not telling you, and I don't know why, but that's just what you have to do. Also, if you need more support, if you're a mom or mom-to-be or a friend of a mom or a mom-to-be, you can join us on Facebook. We have a private Facebook group called Jess Hover and Friends. You go there, you tell them who you are, you post a cute photo or something, ask for advice, encouragement, give your thoughts. It's a nice place to be. Not judgmental, very kind, very loving, lots of perspectives on lots of things. So I just feel like it's a great resource. You want to join it? I'd love to have you. A lot of times my kids are in the video. Right now one's sleeping and the other one's outside pretending they're at the beach. And so here I am talking to you. And it's good, because today's video is going to be a bit more intimate. Today's video is about postpartum depression. Let's talk about postpartum depression, baby blues. It's 2020. There's a lot to be said about this stuff. And this is a topic that's very close to my heart because I've experienced it, some version. I was never specifically diagnosed with postpartum depression, though I felt a lot of the symptoms. I'm going to read you symptoms today and you can see if you relate at all. Yeah, having a baby for me was like an upheaval of my whole life and identity. And I think I hoped and thought maybe it would go smoother than it did for my first child. Almost 5 years ago, I had Eloise. And then last year in June, I had my son, Wilson. And second time around was way easier than the first, probably because I was already a mom. So I'd already walked through a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about. But lately I've been getting messages from moms who are saying, Jess, I have a new baby. I feel really, really bad inside. And I'm wondering if you could say something about that. And rather than writing individual messages to each of these people, because I just don't have time in this moment, I wanted to make a video so that if that is you, you can see my face and hear my voice inflection and hear me tell you as a friend, you are not crazy. The stuff that you're feeling is stuff I also felt and many friends have felt. And this video, the intention is to just help you to know that you're normal and that it's going to be okay and get better. Motherhood. I am a mom and I'm a mother of the internet now. I make a lot of mom content. I have a lot of interactions with moms online. The irony in all of this is that being a mom scared me to death. And it's something that does not come naturally to me, in the sense that it wasn't like my dream fulfilled. It wasn't something that I felt like I really would know what I was doing. There was a lot of fear attached to being a mom. I thought that having kids was sort of like the end of your life. To sound dramatic, I did think that. I wanted to have kids. I believe somewhere deep in the core of me that being a mom is so good, and it's part of like our design as women. If you're able to be a mom and you want to be a mom and life allows for you to be a mom, then in me, I believe that that is a good thing. Also, at the same time, I have this part of me that pushes back at domesticated living, probably at wifing and motherhood. It's like, I don't want it. I want to go and do things and work hard. And I don't know. I think that I'm just describing more my personality. I'm not saying that something is right or something is wrong. This is where I'm coming from when I am approaching this mom world. It's a thing that I'm thankful for. I love my children. To be a mom is a gift. But at the same time, I wouldn't say I love being a mom, and I wouldn't say I've like found my sweet spot in motherhood. And I don't know who that's for. Some of you guys are going to be in totally different kind of areas of life. Some of you feel like you are in your place and motherhood is your arrival to kind of your destiny. And I envy you, to be honest. I have friends who I think they are soaring when it comes to being moms. They are rich. They are doing what they are good at. And for me, I feel like I am living the best way I know how, and I'm trying really hard to be a good mom to my kids, and I'm grateful for the role. but it is hard for me. And having a baby, just that whole process, being pregnant, the delivery, all of it, I think is so crazy. I think it is like so absolutely insane. When I was pregnant with Eloise, the feeling that I had was like I was a teenager again. I was watching my body grow and just sort of like, I don't know, when you're pregnant, you don't get to choose the shape that it takes. You don't get to decide like, I'm only gonna look pregnant in my belly and not my face. You might look pregnant everywhere. You might look pregnant all the way in your toes. You might not. You might be the type of person that someone looks at you and says like, wow, from behind, I didn't think you were pregnant, but now from the front you are. It's like being a teenager. You don't get to choose the shape your body's gonna take. It just, you grow and you sprout and you get breasts or you don't. And I didn't until I was pregnant. It's crazy. And then on top of your body just doing whatever it does, your hormones and emotions are really unstable. And that wasn't my favorite. I don't know. I just felt like it was a very fragile time of life. I know that some women glow. I mean, there were beautiful elements of pregnancy, but I just thought the whole thing was like, this is super crazy. And then you have your baby, and then there's this pressure on you to look like you didn't have a baby and to just like coast into motherhood as if you know exactly what you're doing, and to hold your little bundle of joy and be like, I'm so in love with you. I feel so passionate about this. This is so good. And my experience was not that way. I remember the first week of Eloise's life feeling like, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. I would cry in the evenings. Every time the sun would go down, I would cry. I missed being in the hospital. Every time the baby needed a diaper change in the hospital, I dinged the nurse to come in. The first nurse who was on duty, she liked me and she was happy to help. Second nurse was like, you need to learn to change a diaper. And I was like, yeah, I do for sure. Thanks for coming. And I was like so freaked out. And I remember Eloise was like 10 days old and I held her, I nursed her. And at some point in there, I was like, whoa, I do love you. I feel in this moment, 10 days in, what all these people around me are describing about you is this like overwhelming love for you. But what I felt was a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, sleeplessness. I couldn't sleep even when it was my turn to sleep because I was so kind of like wound up about the fact that she was going to need to nurse any second. And it just was a bit of a mess. And I proceeded to feel like a mess for the months that followed. I also loved my daughter. I was crazy about her and so thankful for her. But it was hard. And I watched this TED Talk today, and this woman, she was a psychiatrist. I'm going to link the TED Talk because I'm going to paraphrase it, and I'm not going to do as good of a job delivering this as she did. But she's a psychiatrist who focuses on women who are pregnant and then postpartum. And she was saying that she gets calls from hundreds of women who seek her help because they think they have postpartum depression. And so then she walks them through all of the symptoms of postpartum depression, and then they don't have those symptoms. And so then she says, no, you don't have that. And what maybe would be expected is like this relief of, oh, good, okay, well, I don't have postpartum depression. But instead, what she was met with was these moms who were like, oh, well, shoot, if I don't have that, then what's wrong with me? Because I don't feel good at this. I don't feel like I like this. I thought this would be easier and it's not. I thought I would know what I was doing and I don't. I feel very alone even though there's people around me. And what this psychiatrist was talking about was how she began to research this stage of life that very much resembles adolescence. The very same thing that I felt when I was pregnant. She recognized as a woman and as a doctor that it is true that our bodies are morphing and our emotions and hormones and everything are going crazy, and yet there is no real like identifiable word for that other than you're just pregnant and you have a baby and you hopefully figure it out. And so she started doing all this research. She said in medicine she couldn't find answers, but then she started looking into anthropology. I don't understand what anthropology is. But anyway, she found an essay that was written by someone that basically described this stage of life. And they used one specific word, and I don't remember what the word is. I want you to go watch the TED Talk. But basically saying that women they naturally will experience this thing when your baby is born. Some people call it baby blues, but it is a time of life where you're experiencing a push and pull that's going to be very, very uncomfortable. And the pull is the natural pull that your body's going to do to help you love your baby. So when you deliver the baby and when you have skin to skin time with your baby, your body is going to produce oxytocin, and that is going to help you like zone in on your baby's needs. It's going to help you love the baby, prioritize the baby, be ready to give up your life for that baby, which means that since that comes through skin to skin, that any parent can experience that, any mother can experience that, even if you didn't personally deliver your child. You can still have the oxytocin kind of pull towards your child. But at the same time, you're going to have the push of everything that you are and were before this baby arrived. All of your needs, your need for sleep, your need for food, your need for physical activity, your need for social activity, your need for an emotional and spiritual life. And a lot of those elements of your life are put on hold when your baby arrives, because your baby is an all-consuming little entity, a little being, right? And this doctor even said, like, compared to all other mammals, our babies are the hardest to take care of because they don't know how to eat. They don't know how to walk. Like, you have to do everything for them to help regulate them as a little being. And it's really, really hard. So you have this pull on your body to help you do it. And then you have this push inside of you of like, who am I? And how can I find myself again? And what do I do? And why does this suck so bad? And what I want to tell you as a mother of two and as somebody who has experienced this in a lot of different levels over the last almost 5 years of being a mom, is that if you are feeling that tension and you're feeling like, I'm not good at this, I thought it would be easier, I feel so alone, not to mention if you're experiencing this in the middle of the COVID-19 thing where maybe you would normally have guests in your home helping you or family members visiting, or you had to do doctor appointments alone that you thought you would be getting to do with your spouse or a friend or a sister or something. All of that is going to add extra intensity to the emotions that you feel that are already super intense. And you need to know that it's okay to feel it. It's normal to feel it. This doctor, the psychiatrist, was talking about her belief in talk therapy. And she was saying that one of the ways we can find help and relief from baby blues is just talking about how we're doing. So I'd encourage you, if you're in that space that I'm describing where it's so hard and you're really struggling, call somebody, FaceTime somebody, tell your partner, your spouse, tell them what's going on, but even more so, include loved ones in this process because you're so normal. There are moms that they love it right away, and those moms, we need them because they help us to know like this is good, it's going to get better, this is so sweet. But for, I would say, the majority of moms, it doesn't go quite like that. It's a bumpy arrival, no matter how thankful you are. Your baby is born and now a mom is born and you've never been a mom before. So it's okay for that to feel really crazy. Another thing I would recommend, this was just my own kind of relief that I found, is watch shows or watch something funny. I would say in a time when you're consumed with your own story and it's really maybe discouraging or depressing or confusing or tiring or whatever, it can be really helpful to get lost in another story. And shows and movies provide us with other stories to get lost in. And so for me, it was The Office. I just wanted something really lighthearted and funny. And I love Jim and Pam. They're so cute. And so I would just watch it. I've never watched that much TV. I watched all of the seasons all at once because I needed relief, and it really did help. Also, anything you can do to make your life easier, do it. So I know that that's hard, but if somebody else in your house can give the baby a bottle, if you can pump and have that be possible, if you can nap even if the house is really messy, even if you're unshowered and you feel crazy, resting, have snacks out all over the place that are easy to grab, a water bottle that's full. Don't be afraid to ask for help and be more demanding than you normally are. If it's not your style to be demanding, be demanding. You're probably not really demanding, but if that's what you have to tell yourself, be a bit more assertive to ask for help because you're in a really vulnerable, fragile, very real time of life. It's normal that you would feel crazy, and it is going to pass, and it is going to get better, and you're going to enjoy your kids so much. Postpartum depression versus baby blues. Let's just talk about that so you kind of understand what these things are. Baby blues often starts like 2 to 3 days after your baby is born and lasts maybe like 2 to 3 weeks. And maybe you have anxiety, it's hard to sleep, you feel sad, you feel overwhelmed, you cry, it's hard to concentrate. Yeah, maybe you have appetite problems. So those are baby blues. It can feel like it will last forever, but those usually subside a few weeks in. Postpartum depression, that's a more severe thing, and that is going to be depressed mood or really severe mood swings, excessive crying, withdrawing from family and friends, having thoughts about death, having thoughts about removing yourself from your family, having thoughts about removing the child or harming the child, reduced interest in any sort of pleasurable like activities you used to do, restlessness, hopelessness, feelings of worthlessness, shame, guilt, inadequacy, severe anxiety, panic attacks. So it's a baby blues with exclamation points after it. It's a much more intensified version of it, and it doesn't subside after a few weeks. It gets more intense as time goes on. If you feel that, contact your doctor right away. There's also therapists. Like when I was looking this up, there's a counseling app called BetterHelp. This is not sponsored, but I use that app. That's how I talk to my counselor every week. And they have something where you can go in there and say, I'm struggling with postpartum depression, and they will hook you up with a counselor who focuses on that. And you can be doing right now during the quarantine time, FaceTime or calls with a counselor, which would be so beneficial. And they have something where if you can't afford it, they'll lower it to next to nothing to be able to get you the counseling that you need. So there really are options out there. But talking to other moms is really important, and just finding little ways to add pleasure, rest, beauty to your life, anything that can enhance this time that you're in. It's a really temporary time. So as terrible as it is, it's going to pass soon. You're going to get more sleep soon. You're going to get out soon. You're going to have some more independence soon. But during this time, you want to try to just kind of sustain yourself and be healthy and stay alive. If you can stay alive, you can keep your kid alive. And I don't know. I hope that this is helpful to you. You are not crazy. You can totally do this. If I can be a mom, anybody can be a mom. And if you need support, join us. Private Facebook group called Jess Hover and Friends. Go in there, tell them who you are, ask for advice, share pictures of your babies. The moms in there are awesome. Follow us on Instagram. We make videos every weekish, and we would love to see you here. I personally would love to hear some of your experiences after having a baby. So will you go ahead and leave comments below, things that helped you? What did you feel after you had your baby? What relief did you find? Leave a comment right after this. We'd love to hear your feedback. I'm praying for you, whatever that means to you. I think about you often, and I really hope you're doing well. We love you. I hope you have a really good day. We'll talk to you soon.